Hi Pisces, Trishna here. Welcome to your August 2019 Success and Abundance reading. So what I'm feeling for you is I feel like there's two things going on. So I feel like on the one hand, you've been working on something and you're pretty excited about it and you're really focused on it, but you're almost overdoing it. But on the other hand, you don't realize that that's going on. So you're still feeling good. You're feeling happy. You found your calling. You found what really interests you. You're so devoted to it. You're working all the time. You're excited about it. It's just consuming your whole life. And you don't realize that you might be overdoing it because you're having so much fun. And you couldn't think of anything that would be more fun than what you're doing right now. And you finally found something that you really enjoy, that you can do all the time, that calls to you, that speaks to you, that opens you up, that's productive. It feels amazing and you don't want to give it up. Like it's so good that you don't want to let it go. You're having way too much fun to give it a break. So I feel like, on the one hand, you feel like this is something that you're fully immersed. I mean, in both cases, you're fully immersing yourself into whatever it is that you're doing, and I feel like this is the right situation for you. But there's like two things going on in the sense that you're actually overdoing it, but you don't realize that you're overdoing it because you're having so much fun and you don't want to let it go. And so, I feel like what I'm getting for you is that I don't think you can burn out on whatever it is that you're working on. I don't think that you can work on it so much that you lose interest. This is your calling. This is what you're meant to be doing. This is something that speaks out to you. And so even if you overdid it and then got tired of it, you would bounce back within a few days because this is what's meant for you. You finally found what is meant for you. And that is so exciting. That's amazing. That's awesome. And I can understand why you don't want to let it go. And you shouldn't let it go completely. But even though you can't burn out really and you can't overdo it in the sense of losing interest, I think it's really important that you still maintain a balance in your life because Pisces, you do work hard. You definitely work hard. You earn everything that you receive. You are not lazy, but you are not a workaholic. That is not your nature. Your nature is social and it likes to be balanced. You like to excel in all areas of your life, not just one. And I feel like this is not quite the right analogy to use because whatever it is that you're focusing on has so many components to it, has so many tricks to it. But the analogy I'm going to use is you don't want to be a one trick pony. You don't want to be so good at one thing but completely neglect everything else to where you're just one dimensional. You can only talk about one thing, you're only good at one thing. Your whole life is just one thing. That's not you. You are a balanced person. Like I was saying, you like to be social, you like to excel in all areas of your life. So I think that you really should maintain this focus. You really should continue to work on it every day. You really should enjoy it. But I really think that it's important that you also make sure that you are maintaining your other interests, you're maintaining your other relationships, that you are still having some kind of balance in your life. So don't be a one trick pony, at least be a two trick pony. Maybe a three trick pony, but make sure that you don't just have this one interest, that you at least have another interest that's going on as well. And the reason why is obviously, like I was saying, you're not going to burn out. That's not why I'm saying this. Like, you don't feel like you're overdoing it because you know you can't burn out, but you're overdoing it in the sense of you're going to lose balance. So, and that's like the thing that I think you haven't realized just yet. So, the other thing that I want to say is like, you're really focused on this one thing and that's good. And I think that everything in your life will wait for you. If there are relationships that are kind of being put more to the side than normal, those people will wait for you. They'll be there for you because they are really, really excited for you. They're so happy that you found your purpose. This is something that we all want to find, and you found it. And they're willing to have short term, they're willing to give up some of their short term happiness so that you can have long term happiness. And they're willing to do that. They're happy to do that for you because they know how important this is to you and they're fully supportive. And so they will be there for you when you finally resurface. And when you finally resurface, they're not going to be mad at you. They're not going to be upset with you. They're going to be there 100% fully supportive of you, even if you have neglected them. And this can apply to any area of your life. This could be your career. This could be, however this applies to you. The thing though is even though they will be there 100%, like nothing changed, they, like So they are experiencing short-term unhappiness so that you can have long-term happiness. So, I mean, they are going to feel things, but they are 100% supportive and they're willing to put their unhappiness aside for you to have long-term happiness, like for forever. So they will be there 100% when you come back around. So that's all fine in that sense. But the thing is that when you come back, you're going to feel like you missed out. You're going to feel like you missed out on so much. You're going to feel like you missed out on their journey, or if there's some kind of hobby that you weren't a part of, you're going to feel like you missed out on the journey of the evolution of that hobby. Or if there's a group of friends, you're going to feel like you missed out on the connections that were there and how they've grown as a group. Like you somehow weren't a part of it and now you're jumping back in. It's kind of like in movies, or maybe even in real life, I guess, whenever there's like a family and there's like a high achieving parent and they kind of put their career ahead of their child. And usually in those movies, the child is not happy. Like by the time, years go by and the parent has missed out on all their birthdays, all their soccer practices, all their straight A's, everything. And so the child is not happy when the parent comes back and there's this discord. In this scenario, the child is happy. I'm not saying that the other people in your life are children, but just to explain the analogy. In the scenario of the parent completely neglecting the family for their career, the family is still there for them when that person comes back. When the parent decides to re-enter, the family is completely open. It's like nothing happened. It's like nothing went wrong. It's like nothing was missed for them. But the parent has missed out on everything. The child was like 5 and now they're like 15. That's a 10-year difference. They missed their entire childhood and a lot of their teenage years. And so even though the child is like, yeah, I'm here, let's cool, let's hang out, I'm so glad you're back, like tell me about your journey and everything like that, all the great things that have happened for you, you as a parent feel like you missed out on them growing and you can't catch back up. How do you catch up on those years? How do you catch up on that growth? How do you catch up on all those experiences? Like, you're going to feel like something really, really, really big is missing that you can't get back. And so that's the thing that you don't realize at this point in time. You don't realize that that's what overdoing it means for you. It's not burning out. Overdoing it means that you're neglecting other things in your life and you're going to look back and feel like you missed out and you can't get that time back. So I think it was in the July success readings, we talked about how you had found your purpose and how it's really important that you don't hold it in and that you share it with as many people as possible, even to the point of annoyance, because that was going to open up new opportunities for you and it was just going to be this wonderful time when you really needed to immerse yourself in what you were working on, what we were studying, what you were really doing. So I think that was really good. I hope that you followed that. I hope that more doors opened up for you or you learn more things as a result. And I think now you have to make a little bit of a shift to that. So I think that you should continue to share what you're doing with new people that you meet. But I think you also need to identify your core group of people, your core relationships, whether that's one person, family, a few friends, whatever that core group is for you, the people who already know what you're working on, who are already looking for opportunities for you whenever they can, and who are already very, very supportive of whatever it is that you want to work on. That core group of people, I think you really need to now shift and handle differently. So I guess like another way to decide who your core group of people is we were just talking about how there's going to be some people in your life or some area of your life where you feel like when you re-engage with them, you'll have missed out on their growth, on their life, on what was exciting for them. And you'll know them as they are right now, and then if you don't really engage with them in their same ways, like if you get too invested in being a one-trick pony, when you look back, you won't recognize who that person is anymore. Even though they will know exactly who you are and they'll feel like nothing has changed, you will feel like you missed out. So whoever falls in that category of person, or whatever area of life that revolves around, that's the person or the people or the area of life that you need to handle differently going forward. So whereas with everybody else, you can still share what you're working on so that you can open up more doors of opportunity, get more encouragement and that kind of thing. With this other select group of people who you don't want to miss out on, you need to handle them differently. So you need to allocate some time every single week to where you are focused on them. And so that means that you are very, very present with them in that time period where you're not talking about what it is that you're working on because they already know that. They're already paying attention to that. They're already supporting you with that. They're already looking for opportunities. They're already probably asking you about that at all, like whenever they can, or they're probably already listening to you about that. So whenever you dedicate this time to them, don't focus on that. Instead, be very, very present with them and be a really, really good listener and try to figure out like what are they excited about and what are they working on, because remember that's what you're going to feel like you missed out on. You're going to feel like you missed out on their growth. You're going to feel like you missed out on whatever new interests they have by the time you resurface. So you don't end up in that situation, so you balance out your life, and so you're not just a one trick pony. You need to pay attention to the people in your life. You need to give them attention, and you need to be a good listener. And because that's going to keep you engaged and connected with them as you go through their journey, so that you're with them every step of the way while you still get to invest in your purpose and you still get to live your calling, which you're really excited about. So that's how you need to do that. And then, maybe every other week you have to, you don't have to, but you should show your appreciation to those people by doing something that engages the two of you, doing some kind of activity that is fun for both of you and that allows you to interact and allows you to like opens up more conversation for you, and just as a moment that you can experience together so that you are still experiencing moments with them as you go through this journey. So I hope that makes sense. It's like you're worried about, or you're not worried about this now, but if you don't open up your horizons again, you're going to look back and feel like you missed out on something or somebody's growth or something like that. So to handle that and to balance everything out, you need to focus on those core people and focus on their growth and be interested in it and invested in it and a good listener about it so that you're not missing out on that, because they're not going to be missing out on you. They're already paying attention to you. And when you look back, they're going to feel like they've been with you the whole way. You're going to feel like you weren't with them. So you need to be with them now. And you need to devote time every single week to being with them and not them just being with you. So the attention needs to be coming from you to them. And the appreciation needs to come from you to them, because they're already doing a lot in supporting you through this. So you want to balance that out and support them in return. And you want to feel good when you look back and feel like you really were engaged with this person or these people and that you were present throughout that time, not just when you suddenly realize that, oh, like I should probably pay attention to people. So I hope this is helpful. Like Pisces, being a one-trick pony is not you. Like you really care about people. You like to be a part of people's lives and you like to contribute to your relationships with them and you like to keep up with your relationships with them, and that's really the essence of who you are, is like a people person who really cares about others and like wants to be there for them. So like all of this is something that you're going to be happy that you took the time to do. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it earned your like and your subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.